They said the hill had been burning for 100 seasons. Every dawn, a thin orange glow shimmered from its crown, flickering like a restless spirit. At dusk, the same fire appeared again, never spreading, never dying, never giving smoke. It was a fire that lived but did not eat, and above it always, the hawks circled. To a traveler, it was a strange sight. 6, sometimes 7 hawks swirling in a slow spiral above the glowing bush. Their wings cut the wind in perfect rhythm, their cries sharp and lonely. But to the people of Oru, it was more than strange. It was a story, a warning, a pain that had never healed. For generations, elders told it the same way. The hawks circle the burning bush because they are searching for their missing children. No one knew if it was truth or myth, but when the wind carried the hawks' cries down into the village, even the strongest hunters felt something shift in their chests. A tug, a knowing, a sorrow that did not belong to them. Tommy, a 16-year-old apprentice healer, felt it more strongly than anyone. She often climbed the lower slopes of Burning Hill to gather herbs. From there, she could see the bush clearly. A lone shrub, leaves bright gold like embers, branches glowing but never turning to ash. It was beautiful in the way dangerous things often were, and always the hawks. One morning, as Tommy filled her satchel with cloud root and mountain leaf, she heard the hawks screaming more fiercely than usual. Their wings beat with agitation, feathers ruffling in the rising wind. She shielded her eyes and looked up. Only 4 hawks circled that morning, not 6. She blinked, counted again. 4. Her heart quickened. Where are the others? The hawks' cries pierced the air, rising in sharp, unsettling crescendos. They dipped low over the burning bush, then rose again, wings jerking in frantic motion. Something was wrong. By the time Tammy returned to the village, whispers were already spreading. Hawks missing. The fire glowed brighter last night. Bad omen. Tammy approached the elder's hut, where the oldest storyteller, Na Onu, sat warming her bones by a clay lantern. The woman's hair fell in long silver ropes, her eyes sharp despite her age. "Tammy," she croaked, before the girl even spoke. "You climbed the hill this morning." "Yes, Na. You saw it too." Tammy hesitated. "There were only 4 hawks." Na Onu nodded slowly. "Their children have begun to vanish again." "Again?" Tammy's voice faltered. "Has this happened before?" "Long before you were born." The old woman's fingers traced invisible lines in the air. "When the burning first started, when the hawks first began their vigil." Tammy sat at her feet. "Nah, why do the hawks stay there? Why do they circle that fire year after year?" Na Onu leaned in. "Because that bush guards something. Something taken from them. Something lost." "What did it take?" Tammy whispered. The old woman's gaze clouded. "Their children." A chill crept across Tommy's skin, though the hut was warm. She had heard the legend countless times growing up, but never spoken with such certainty. Never with such fear. "Fire does not take without reason," Na said, "and spirits do not guard without purpose. Whatever lies beneath that bush, whatever glows inside it, it is waking." As if on cue, the hawks cried again, the sound rolling down the mountain like a warning. Tommy stood. "Na Onu, if the hawks' children are missing again, does that mean the hill is changing?" The old woman closed her eyes. "It means something worse, child. It means the balance that is held for 100 seasons is breaking." Tommy's breath caught. "What should we do?" Na Onu opened her eyes and fixed her with a steady, unsettling look. "You," she said, "must go back to the hill." Tommy had never disobeyed Na Onu, but her feet dragged beneath her as she climbed Burning Hill again that afternoon. The wind had changed, hotter, heavier, carrying an unfamiliar metallic scent. Even the earth felt tense, as though expecting something. When she reached the middle ridge, she heard it. Not a hawk this time, but a soft, trembling chirp. Her eyes widened. A hawk fledgling, barely feathered, stumbled in the grass. Its wings were too small for flight, its breath quick and weak. Hawks almost never nested this low. They raised their young high in cliff hollows where predators could not reach. Tommy knelt carefully. "Little one, how did you get here?" The fledgling tried to stand but collapsed again, letting out a pitiful cry toward the sky. The adult hawks screamed back from above, but none descended. Tommy frowned. Hawks were fiercely protective. They would die for their young. But they never, ever flew near the burning bush. Something had forced this fledgling away from its nest. She scanned the area. No tracks, no feathers, no signs of attack. Just the wind and the glowing bush above. Suddenly the ground trembled, just once, like a heartbeat. The fledgling panicked, flapping tiny wings. Tommy scooped it gently into her shawl, holding it close to steady its trembling. "It's all right," she whispered, though she did not believe it. She continued up the hill. When she reached the crest, the bush blazed brighter than she had ever seen. Orange gold light pulsed from within its branches, as though something alive beat inside it. The hawk circled low, crying desperately. Tommy stepped closer, clutching the fledgling. Heat radiated from the bush, not painful, but unsettling, like standing too near an open spirit gate. "What are you guarding?" she murmured. The fledgling wiggled in her arms, then cried sharply, pointing its beak toward the bush. "You want me to take you closer?" She hesitated, but the hawks above suddenly dove in unison, spiraling downward with a deafening chorus of screams. Their wings beat so close the air shook. Tommy froze. It was not aggression. It was pleading. They wanted her to approach. Hands trembling, she edged forward until the tips of the glowing branches were only an arm's length away. Inside the gold light, she saw shadows moving. Small, fluttering shapes. Her breath stilled. They were fledglings, dozens of them, trapped behind a veil of golden fire, flapping tiny wings, crying in silence. "They're alive," Tommy whispered. The fledgling in her arms chirped softly, reaching its beak toward the barrier. But as Tommy lifted it closer, the bush pulsed, and the ground shook again, this time harder. A crack split the earth beneath her feet. She stumbled back, clutching the bird. The bush flared with blinding brilliance, and for the first time in its long history, it gave a sound. A deep, echoing groan. The adult hawks screamed in terror and fled upward, circling faster, wings slicing the air. The earth groaned again, louder, deeper, almost like a voice struggling to wake after a long sleep. Tommy ran down the slope, shielding the fledgling. By the time she reached the village edge, people were already gathered, staring at the now raging glow on the hill. Na-Onu limped toward her, face grim. "You heard it," Tommy nodded breathlessly. "There are fledglings trapped in the fire. Many. And the bush, it's waking." The village murmured in fear. Na-Onu raised a trembling hand. "The Sky Mothers, those hawks, have guarded the hill for generations. But if the children are trapped beyond the veil of fire, then something ancient has begun its work again." Tommy swallowed. "What ancient thing?" The elder stared toward the burning hill as the sky darkened behind it. "A spirit that feeds on young wings." The night that followed was restless. The glowing hill pulsed like a slow-breathing creature, and the hawks cried until dawn. Throughout Oru, babies whimpered in their sleep. Dogs barked at nothing. Goats refused to settle. Even the seasoned hunters, men who laughed in the face of storms, sat awake with their spears across their knees. Tommy barely slept. Before sunrise, she carried the rescued fledgling to Na-Onu's hut. The elder examined it, whispering old words under her breath. The fledgling gazed at them with dark, intelligent eyes. "This one was chosen," Na-Onu said. "Chosen for what?" "To escape, so it could lead you back." Tammy stiffened. "Me? Why me?" "You heard the hill groan," Naya said. "You saw the trapped young. The hawks trust you. The spirits have marked you." Tommy shook her head. "But I'm just an apprentice healer." "Exactly," the elder breathed. "Healers mend what is broken, even when the broken thing is older than memory." Before Tammy could protest, the fledgling slipped from her arms, flapped weakly, and hopped toward the door. "It wants you to follow," Inoa murmured. So Tammy did. The fledgling led her past the farms, past the abandoned shrine, past the carved stones the elders once used for rituals, straight toward the foot of Burning Hill. The fire glowed faintly in the rising light. As Tammy walked, She felt a faint hum beneath her feet, a pulse, like a heartbeat in the soil. Halfway up the incline, the fledgling stopped beside a cluster of old, twisted roots protruding from the earth. It pecked at them urgently. Tommy knelt, brushing soil aside. The ground was warm. Too warm. She dug deeper and her fingers struck something smooth. She pulled harder and unearthed a stone mask. It was carved in the shape of a hawk's face, but distorted. Its beak too long, its eyes hollow and sharp as knives. Strange symbols ran along its edges. Tommy swallowed. Na-Onu said spirits used to feed on young wings. Was this part of it? The fledgling cried sharply and hopped backward. The bush above suddenly flared. The ground trembled, and a whisper, cold and ancient, slid through the air. "Release me!" Tommy stumbled away from the mask. The whisper grew louder, curling like smoke around her ears. "Release me, little healer." "No," she whispered, shaking. The fledgling pressed itself against her leg, trembling. The voice shifted. "Give me the winged children, and I will sleep again." Tammy's chest tightened. The spirit beneath the hill, whatever it was, had been trapped long ago. The burning bush was its seal. The hawks stayed to watch it, to keep the spirit from devouring their young. But something was weakening that seal. "What do you want?" she whispered shakily. The ground answered. Another crack split the slope. Light burst through it like molten gold. "I want to be free." Tommy grabbed the fledgling and ran. The hill groaned behind her, the fire on the bush blazing higher than ever before. When she reached the village, people were already emerging from their homes, shouting in fear. Dust rose from the trembling earth. Na-Onu forced her way toward her. "You touched it, didn't you?" Tommy nodded, breathless. "There's a spirit under the bush, a hawk-faced thing. It spoke to me." The elder's face drained of color. "Then the seal truly is breaking." Tommy clutched the fledgling closer. "How do we stop it?" The elder closed her eyes as the hawk screamed overhead. "To stop it," she whispered, "you must learn how the seal was made." The elders gathered that evening beneath the old Iroko tree. Torches flickered around them. The ground still trembled faintly. The burning bush glowed more fiercely than ever. The hawks circled without rest, their cries full of grief. Tommy stood before the council, holding the fledgling. Na-Onu leaned on her staff. "It is time to tell the true story, the one kept only by the elders." The others nodded grimly. Na faced Tommy. "Long ago, before Oru existed, this land belonged to the Sky People." Tommy frowned. "Sky People?" "Not humans," Na said softly. "Hawks." Thunder rumbled in the distance. These hawks were larger, wiser, and lived nearly 100 seasons. They raised their young in harmony with the spirits. Their leader was a great mother hawk named Arua, the first Sky Mother. Tommy listened as the elder's voice grew steady, strong. For years, all was peaceful, but then a spirit came from the deep earth, one hungry for wings. It believed that the feathers of young hawks held magic strong enough to break its prison in the underworld. Tommy shivered. The spirit beneath the hill? Yes, it called itself Ogwududuru, the hollow flame. It appeared as a beautiful fire that did not burn, tempting all who saw it. At first, the hawks admired it, but soon fledglings began to vanish. The fledgling in Tammy's arms chirped, as though recognizing the story. Irua followed the disappearances. She discovered the hollow flame had swallowed her children, drawing power from their young wings. The elder paused, her voice cracking. The mother hawk gathered her strongest warriors. They fought Ogwududuru for 7 nights. On the 8th night, she trapped it beneath a bush of sacred roots. With the help of 3 ancient healers, she sealed the spirit with a living fire, one that glowed but did not consume. "That fire still burns today," Tommy whispered. "The burning bush." "Yes, and to this day, the hawks remain to guard their lost children, those who were taken." Tommy swallowed. "Then the shadows I saw in the fire, are they the spirits of those lost fledglings?" "No," Na said softly. "They are the unborn, the ones Ogwududuru is trying to steal before they hatch." A chill gripped Tommy's spine. "The seal is weakening," an elder hunter said. "The cracks grow each day." "And if the seal breaks fully," another whispered, The spirit will devour not only hawks but anything with breath. Tommy steadied herself. What can I do? Na'aonu grasped her hands. The healers who sealed the spirit left only one instruction. When the hollow flame stirs again, a healer must walk into its light and choose what to give or what to take. Tammy's breath hitched. Walk into the burning bush? Yes, only the chosen healer can enter it unharmed, and the hawks have chosen you. Just then, the largest hawk swooped from the sky, landing on a nearby branch. Its feathers were silver-tipped with age. Its gaze pierced straight into Tommy's soul. It bowed its head. A sign, a request, a plea. Tommy lifted the fledgling in her arms. If I go, will I come back? Na'onu's eyes shone with sorrow. No healer who entered the burning bush has ever returned, but no healer before you entered by the hawk's choosing. Tammy turned toward the glowing hill. Her heartbeat thundered. The hawks cried as one, and the burning bush pulsed, waiting. Tammy began her climb at dawn. Mist coated the mountain. The ground trembled with every few steps, as though warning her that time was running out. The fledgling rode quietly on her shoulder, wings fluttering in anxious bursts. Halfway up, the hawks descended, 6 of them forming a protective ring around her. They flew slow, guiding her path. The bush glowed brighter with every step, its fire now a living heartbeat. When she reached the crest, the heat washed over her, not painful, but powerful. The golden flames rose like waves, swirling around the bush in hypnotic motion. Tommy whispered to the fledgling, "Stay close." The hawks perched around the hill, watching her with unwavering gaze. She stepped forward. The golden light wrapped around her, warm as sunlight. The flames parted as she walked, revealing a swirling tunnel of shimmering fire. At the center stood a figure, tall, blazing, shifting like smoke, the spirit Ogwududuru. Its face resembled the hawk mask she had found, elongated, distorted, hollow-eyed. Wings of fire extended behind it, crackling softly. "Little healer," the spirit whispered, "you finally came." Tommy swallowed hard. "Why are you stealing the hawk children?" "Because their wings open doors." "Doors to what?" "Freedom. You were imprisoned for harming them." The spirit laughed, a hollow, echoing sound. "I only take what is owed. Their magic draws me. Young wings carry the power of rebirth. With enough of them, I can rise from this earth and burn across the sky." Tammy stepped closer. "You must stop. The hawks have suffered enough." The spirit tilted its flaming head. "Their grief is my strength." She clenched her fists. "Then I choose to take back what you stole." Silence fell. The spirit's hollow eyes narrowed. "You wish to undo the seal? To claim the trapped wings?" "Yes." "Then give me something in return." Tammy hesitated. "Give you..." "What?" Ogwududuru extended a flaming hand. "Your voice. Healers speak life. Without your voice, you cannot mend again." Tammy froze. Her gift, her calling, her future. She would lose it forever. The hawks cried outside, their voices echoing through the veil. Tammy lowered her head. "And if I refuse, then the seal breaks tonight." The golden veil trembled. Shadows flickered within it, tiny winged shapes crying for release. Tammy looked at the fledgling on her shoulder. Its small wings shook with fear. She breathed deeply. "Take my voice." The spirit smiled, flames brightening. But as it reached for her, the fledgling leapt between them, spreading its tiny wings. A brilliant light burst from its body. Ogwududuru screamed, "No, not that one!" The golden light grew, forcing the spirit backward. The trapped fledglings began to glow. Their shadows expanded. Tommy shielded her eyes. The burning bush roared like a living sun. Then, a burst of pure white light consumed the hill. When the light faded, Tammy found herself lying on cool grass. The burning bush stood behind her, calm, no longer raging. Its glow was soft again, steady and controlled. The air hummed gently, like a lullaby. She blinked. The fledgling was gone, but in its place, hovering above her, was a full-grown hawk, feathers shimmering with silver light. It circled her once, twice, then landed gently before her. "Tammy?" The voice entered her mind, soft as wind. She gasped. "You can speak? You saved us!" It bowed its head, and around it, dozens of young hawks emerged from the golden bush, spreading their newly restored wings. The adult hawks cried from above, a sound of joy, not sorrow. Tommy felt tears fill her eyes. "What happened to the spirit?" she asked. The silver-feathered hawk answered, "The fledgling you carried was the last unclaimed child of Erua, the first Sky Mother. Only a child of her line could seal Ogwududeru forever." "Is the spirit gone?" Tommy whispered. The hawk spread its shining wings. "Not gone, but bound again, sleeping deeper than before." Tommy exhaled shakily. "And my voice? I gave it up." The hawk tilted its head. "The spirit never took it. The fledgling's power shattered the bargain." Tammy touched her throat and found her voice steady and whole. She laughed, overwhelmed. The hawks gathered around her, encircling her with wings of gold and brown and silver. "Tommy," the silver hawk said, "you are now our keeper, the one who walks between hawks and humans. When the hill whispers again, your line will answer." "My line?" she echoed. "Yes, this gift passes through blood." Tammy swallowed. It was not fear she felt, but purpose. As the sun rose, painting the sky gold, the newly freed hawk children soared into the air. Their parents followed, weaving around them in elegant celebration. For the first time in 100 seasons, the hawks circled the burning bush, not in grief, but in joy. The village of Aru gathered below, watching in awe. Na Onu approached Tommy, tears glistening. "You have done what no healer before you could. The hill is at peace." Tammy watched the hawks soaring higher and higher. "What will happen now?" she asked softly. "Life," Na replied, "and stories, many stories." Tommy smiled, because now she understood. The hawks would always fly around the burning bush, not because they searched for lost children, but because they guarded hope. And she would walk with them, keeper of the hill that burns but is not consumed, for as long as her wings, seen or unseen, would carry her.